Lazarus has done it again.
It's all Fernando Bale, the champion, well clear of Waymore's Blues, and Fernando Bale.
And welcome back to Racing, Pacing and Chasing. We're here with our special guest for the pacing segment tonight, none other than Wayne Hill. We give you a big rap on the show last week, Wayne. You might have jumped in for our episode 1, but thanks for joining us tonight.
No worries, Aaron. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you on the show. And we did speak about you in depth. You're actually in the money. We was normally a horse to follow. I went driver to follow. I went with Wayne Hill last week, and tell you what, you started the season with a bang. 6 winners in the first week.
Yeah, cracker start. It started sort of Monday week ago. I think I won the first 4 races of the season actually, and very, very good start. Yeah, couldn't ask for anything better. And backed up Saturday night with a double, which is super. And I didn't have such a good night last night, but that's the way things go in racing. But I've got a full book of drives on Saturday, so hopefully I can redeem myself and notch up a few more wins on the board.
Well, you say redeem yourself, you're well out in front. I think I did the sums today, 6 winners in a week. You're on track for 300 winners this year, so if we keep that going, we'll
that'd be nice, but I can't see that happening.
Let's just try and get to 100 again.
Yeah, exactly right.
Maybe let's just go back a bit. Tell us how Wayne got involved in harness racing. Where did it all start?
Look, I was very, very fortunate. Both my mum and dad had a property down at Penfield, 20 acres, own stables, track. My dad's still there now training horses, and so very, very fortunate. And my mum's parents, they had horses. Like most people, sort of brought into with a family basically. And my dad's parents also had horses. They had a property opposite Globe Derby. They trained from. So I was very, very fortunate. And me and my sister, we drove ponies at the pony races until we were sort of 15, until we were able to get our trial licence. So. Always grew up with horses, and I think I was fast working horses when I was about 11, 12 years old. Obviously with the quieter ones, Dad used to chuck us on them, and so I've had a lot of experience in the game, and I've been very fortunate to be brought up in it.
Yeah, and you talk about your sister Danny. How strong, that was actually leading into my next question for you, how strong is that rivalry, that brother-sisterly rivalry? How does that go?
Yeah, look, I suppose when we get out on the track, basically she's sort of pretty much like anyone out there, but we're quite close. We spend quite a lot of time together. We travel around together to the meetings, and we go to Mildura once a week as well. That's obviously a four-hour trip up and back, so we do spend quite a lot of time together. Yeah. But both very, very competitive people, and both quite hard on ourselves. Yeah. So, when we're both out there, it's like any other driver out there, pretty much, and. We enjoy racing each other, and definitely very competitive. Yeah,
and you just mentioned there, and just go back to that family affair. Like your dad Gary's still heavily involved. Back, he's back training this season. Yeah, he's always had 1 or 2 in his name, but he's got a fair few more. Like sort of Danny's team's moved over to him, which is great to see. And your mum Sue's still involved as well. You see Sue around the races, so it is the Hill name is very strong in harness racing and in South Australia at the moment.
Yeah, definitely is. Dad will probably train the majority of the horses now. Yeah. Danny will probably start taking some more outside drives. Yep. So she's got an option on what she can and can and can't drive basically. But yeah, it was good to team up with Old Man last week. We had a winner together on wheels. We're quite a successful partnership there for a period of time, so it's good to drive a winner from the Old Man. Yeah, no,
100%. And it's we'll probably get Danny in on a show one week and discuss her. But it's an amazing achievement to see an equal amount of wins for the season as well for last year. So you're only a few behind her. But had you had that first, if the season was another week longer, you would have been right in it.
100%, mate. If I had that week I had just previous, the week before the end of the season, I think I would have won by 1. I think it worked out. But that's racing.
That's racing. It certainly is. Now we talked about you started the season with a bang, and you had a very good season last year at Mildura. I still remember the last call, Luke Humphries, you won on Thomas Jasper, the last race of the season, and I still remember it clear as day, the king of Mildura. Yeah. You were the king of Mildura this year. You own that circuit.
Yeah, well, I've been quite fortunate. I've had a lot of support, not only from yourself, but Frank Mercier. I think probably I would have driven half my winners up there for Frank. He's been fantastic. He's some nice little mares. Our little actress, our Amazing Grace, has just got sold recently to Perth, so she won't be going around anymore. But yeah, had a fantastic season up there. and do get a lot of support up there. It's excellent.
And when I say the King of Mildura, a close mate of mine will probably be very close rivalry up there. Alex Ashford, he'll probably like to challenge you for that this season.
Yeah. Alex probably thinks he's the king, but we'll let him think that for now.
That's probably the best. No point telling him else otherwise. But on that, and talking about Mildura, they do a fantastic job, and I just want to touch on them briefly. They've obviously got, and talking about Alex, he won the drive of the night last week, and each week they're bringing in that $50 fuel voucher from Tasco Petroleum. So hopefully we can win that. You can win that a few weeks of the year and pay for a bit of petrol home. Yeah,
that'd be nice. I've actually been catching a few lifts up there with actually Matt Maguire. So. So I might have to pass on to him actually, but no, things have been good lately. Me, Denny, and have been going up, been catching a ride up there, which is good. We shared the driving, so those night meetings you don't get back till sort of 3-4 in the morning, so it works out good.
Now, a question that I don't know how you do it Tuesdays, and especially when Mildura fields come out Friday as well as for Friday and Saturday night at Globe. Tuesday afternoons must be a tough afternoon for you when you come out on so many, you have multiple drives in each race and you've got to choose. That's probably the hardest thing for you in driving, I know personally.
Yep, definitely the thing I dislike the most in the industry is basically trying to sort out my drives.
It's a good thing to have, but it's a bad thing as well.
It is a good thing to have. I try to keep things pretty fair. On a Tuesday afternoon when the fields come out, I'll probably sit out in the car for half an hour and work things out while I'm at work. And then when I get home, I'll probably sit in the car for maybe half hour before I go inside. I like to organise everything before I go inside with the kids and all that sort of stuff, so I'm not sort of sorting things out then. So it is probably one of the things I dislike the most, but I do try and be quite fair, and I generally try to drive my best sort of 1 or 2 chances.
I know Tuesday, you actually rang me before the fields come out on harness.org. I had to go to Harness Web to get the fields out. You're saying, have you had a look yet? Because you wanted to get it sorted before your drives on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I had a full week of drives on Tuesday, and I didn't want to have to worry about things during the meeting. So I wanted to get it sorted out ASAP.
I know one very close to our stable, and the owner of Piranha Media, he certainly puts a bit of pressure on me to have you in the bike as much as we can. So when I ring him and say Wayne's not driving for X, Y and Z, there's always... I've got to answer questions there as well.
Driving the boss's horse on Saturday night, so
keep him happy.
Bit of luck.
I did say to you, you drive and lava test. That's it. No questions.
No dramas. Easy done.
Keep him happy. Easy. But anyway, just on that one, what would you like to see improve in racing in SA? What's one thing? It's a hard question, but what's one thing?
I'd just like to see the horse population somehow increase.
Yeah.
And I would like to see better stake money. For the owners.
Yeah.
I'm not sort of worried about so much the drivers' fees increasing or anything like that. I think we need to start off with the horse population increasing, and also the stake money somehow increasing as well, just to try and attract a few more owners and things like that.
No, 100%. That's a very, it's a great answer. That you're not worried about your own pocket. You're worried about the industry and the longevity of that. So, righto, it's our favourite segment. We did it with Jake last week. We actually jinxed him when we interviewed him last week. So we wish you all the best of luck this week. He had a bad night at the office after he went through the hot seat of 10 questions in 60 seconds. But let's fire through them. So 10 questions. We're going to do the same questions we give Jake Webster, and we'll do this week in, week out with our guests on the show. So best horse scene?
Probably Courage Under Fire or El Sue. I watched she's into me in New Zealand when I was over there. Probably, those two probably probably better ones I've seen, definitely.
Best horse driven?
Probably have to be, I'd say Ime Macca or maybe Ruffle My Feathers or Little Dreamer back in the day. Ruffle My
We
Feathers.
need one answer. It's got to be quick. One answer.
Ime Macca.
There we go. Good. All right. Rocky's not happy in the backstage.
Love a test.
Not sure if he thinks Starlight Rainbow. Anyway, best horse trained? You haven't trained?
I haven't trained any.
Obviously your dad.
Dad's would have been Ruffle My Feathers, Little Dreamer.
Yeah. Best driver scene?
Oh, Puppet. Freak.
Yeah.
Freak, yeah.
Best trainer scene?
Have to be probably Clayton Emma.
Yeah.
Do a fantastic job.
Biggest race you've won?
Probably won too many big ones. Won a Grimmel series with the Tropical Chuck Wagon. Won a couple of 2-year-old graduate races.
Yep.
And a country graduation, but nothing sort of no group races or anything like that. So no real big ones.
Leading to the next one, race you'd most like to win?
The SA Cup. Yeah, I'd have thought I had a good crack last year. I led up and ran third with Ime Macca.
Yeah, going in defeat. Best track you've driven on?
Probably Melton.
Why?
Spacious, big bends, open, get the cart right up.
Yeah. Now, Jake's a no to this. Gloves, yes or no? Driving gloves?
Depends how cold it is.
Depends how cold it is. All right, we'll sit on the fence. We'll say maybe. All right. Wayne, thanks for joining us tonight. You've been an excellent guest, and hopefully we might get you back on one other night later in the year. We've certainly got 45 shows to get through over the next 12 months. But as always, good luck this weekend, Saturday, and then Monday as well. We wish you all the best and good luck. Let's set out for 100, and hopefully this year you can win the Drivers' Premiership.
Exactly. Fingers crossed. Thank you. Thanks, Aaron.
And we'll be back after the break with our chasing segment.